Okay, awesome. So, to be completely honest, and I love that people have been messaging me this because if you guys don't like tell me what you need help with, like I don't know how to help. And so I have had a few people reaching out to me literally in the last like 2 weeks, like asking me like what could I be doing more to grow my business? Like what could I be doing different? How do I get partners? That's another thing that a lot of people have asked me, like, how do I get partners? And so I just wanted to take some time. I'm not going to sit here and claim to be a social media expert or anything like that, but I have been in this industry for 9.5 years and I've done a lot of coaching. I've paid thousands and thousands of dollars for, professional training, things like that. I do know a few things, but I don't claim to be a professional. But obviously, I have grown this business now twice, and I didn't know if I would be able to do it a second time. And so it is working a second time. So some of these tips must be working. So I just wanted to come on here and share them. And if you know me and you message me, you know I'm gonna send you a voice clip, and it's usually a pretty long one. But it's because like there's just no quick or easy way to explain it. And I also want to preface it with the fact that you guys are already asking already shows that you're obviously doing awesome because if you didn't ask, you wouldn't care, and it wouldn't matter to you. So the fact that you're asking these questions and that you're here today just shows like how much you do care and how much you want to grow. And most of you are already doing awesome anyways, but I think we're our worst critics and we're super hard on ourselves, or we get caught up in the comparison game. And I struggle with this. My husband knows, like, I love that we have the elephants to drop because, like, it's exciting. And when you do get a customer, like, you want to celebrate it, like, right? Like, most of us, like, it's our human nature to want that gratification. And it is exciting because sometimes it takes a long time to get that first customer. Sometimes we've talked to these customers for like months even before we get them across the finish line. So, of course, we want to celebrate that. But then on the flip side, what can happen is if you're not the one getting the elephants and then you see other people dropping elephants, then that can feel discouraging. And so I go back and forth on this, like, do we keep on doing elephants? Do we not? Like, because I don't want to discourage anybody, but at the same token, I also want to show people what is possible and that it is possible to grow this business. And so when we see our team growing as, and I like to look at as a collective, like because we are a whole team, a whole collective. I want you guys to see the possibilities and that it is possible to grow a business, to grow a team. And a lot of it, honestly, I'm going to talk about the tips and tricks, but I do have to preface it with this is that it is your belief system. At the core of this, what has to happen first is you have to have belief in yourself. If you don't have belief in yourself, you can do all of these tips and tricks that we're going to teach you about today. But if you don't actually believe it for yourself, it's not going to happen. It's the law of attraction. What you put out there is what you get out. What you reap is what you sow. All of these things that we hear, it is very, very true. But you have to be able to believe that it is possible for you because if you sit there and say, I'm not getting any business partners, well, guess what? Your mind is going to give you exactly what you tell it. And that is, you're not getting any business partners. So, therefore, you are never going to see opportunities in front of your face because of the fact that you already believe that it's not going to happen. But if you start believing, like one day, Tanya, for example, she messaged me and she said, do you have time later today for an onboarding call for a new partner? And I said, yeah, after 3, like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. You got a new partner. She's like, well, no, I haven't, but I'm going to put some posts out and some content to get a partner today. So if I get one, I just want to make sure you're available. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's amazing because she was already like not doubting that she wasn't going to get a partner. She was like fully just putting it out there, like, well, I'm going to put this out there and I'm going to post about the opportunity in the business. And I'm hopeful that I'm going to. So if I get one, I just want to make sure you're available. And I'm like, that is the difference between thinking positive and like literally putting it out there that you are going to get what you want rather than like, I'm not getting any partners. I don't know how to do this business. This isn't working for me. You guys can kind of see the energy shift in those two different mindsets. And so I just want to make sure that if you are in a place of like negativity and feeling like this isn't for you, then I just want to encourage you to really question what you're thinking about. And if you need to do some self development and some personal development, then do that because that is super important because in this business, we are self motivated and we have to do this on our own. Like we don't have anybody like I'm not harping on you guys saying like, okay, like and most of you would quit because I would quit if I was in your inbox being like, what are you doing today? Like the hell? Like, you're not my boss. And rightfully so, right, guys? But that's where we have to just, that's where I want to build the community because when we have that positive community, that energy fuels us all. And so when we're all excited and we're encouraging each other and celebrating each other's elephants and our wins and I think that our team does an amazing job about this, but I always just like to just make sure that people know like my thoughts behind it because I do think about the people that haven't gotten an elephant yet and I don't want to discourage anybody, but I also want to build a team culture that is lifting each other up and celebrating each other because of the fact that because we are our own bosses and our own business owners, like we have to find that encouragement and that energy from within ourselves. But if we have a community that is constantly celebrating each other and we have a good mindset, that is what is going to propel us all forward. And how we all grow forward is by reaching down and lifting each other up, building each other up. And that's why I love that you guys reach out to me with your struggles so that I can help fill in those gaps wherever people are struggling. So, with all of that, I just want to make sure that if you are struggling, just to check your mindset, listen to some YouTube audio, download books that are on business. I have a whole library full. I've been doing self development for years, and I also believe that that's what's built me into the leader that I am today, and also just like learning, sales, all of the things, all of it adds up. So that's what I would just encourage you this morning if you are in a negative mindset. With that, I wanted to bring Shannon on this morning, and she was a little nervous that I asked her, but the bottom line is that Shannon is doing over $6,000 in sales. And correct me if I'm wrong, Shannon, but I don't believe you've ever really done any type of sales or network marketing. So
No.
she's brand new to this. This has not been her thing. She does live in my town, and she also is a salon owner. And Shannon, I'll just have you kind of just tell a little bit about your story for anybody that doesn't know you, like just going all the way back to your first journey in weight loss. And then from there, I'll just kind of ask you what you're doing with your social media and everything to grow your business.
Okay, so I had gastric bypass in 2020 in January. I was at 332 pounds then. I struggled with weight clearly pretty much all my life. I mean, I was in high school and I remember being well in the 200s, but I battled that and a lot of issues and that. So I decided to finally go through the bariatric program. And when I had that, I lost about 150 pounds in about 9 months, which is awesome. Um, when I, in October, about in 2024, I believe. Yeah. I had a hysterectomy and, the inflammation, weight, all that good stuff. I had it creeping back about 30 pounds from my bariatric surgery anyway. Um, so I reached out to Heather because I saw she was doing amazing. And I started GLP-1s in December, the end of December in 2024. And I have lost about 54 pounds since then. So I'm down a total of 175 pounds from the beginning of my weight loss journey to now. And I feel absolutely amazing. Everything, my skin, my hair, everything is just so much better. I
Yeah,
don't know if that matters. My hair really doesn't totally matter, but
that does. We're
it
hairstylists.
does. Yeah, it does and it doesn't.
But
But yeah.
so that's Shannon's story. So with that, she has done a beautiful job of sharing that journey on social media. And she shares the whole thing. Like, she will not just share her GLP-1 journey, but she also shares from the beginning of like her bariatric surgery and those beginning photos, and then she'll show the beginning photos from there, and then like where she is now, or when she started GLP-1, and then where she is now. So with that, Shannon, like you've never done this business, where would you say that most of your customers are coming from? Do you think it's the salon, social media? What would you say about that?
It's definitely social media
Yeah.
at this point. I
Yeah.
mean, I do get a few here and there from the salon, but definitely social media.
Okay. So what do you do on the daily to like grow your business and share your story? Like what does that look like for you?
So when I do a post, I try to like you said, I try to make sure I get my bariatric one in there because I don't want to sound like I lost 175 pounds in, a few months on GLP-1. But it literally takes me probably over an hour to just create something because I think really hard on it, I guess. I don't mean maybe it's not a lot of thinking, but it is in my mind a lot of thinking because I don't want to broadcast something that what am I trying to say? Broadcast it the wrong way.
Hmm.
And I do want to obviously catch people's eye, but I don't want to, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
You're trying to be authentic and
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
Authentic. There's the word I'm looking for. And I, I try to definitely broadcast the GLP-1s because in all reality, if this would have been a bigger deal in 2020
Yeah.
or like broadcasted more for weight loss instead of diabetes. I mean, you heard about them, but they weren't, I don't know if they were tested yet or whatever, but I probably wouldn't have gone the gastric bypass route. You mean it worked for me? Yes,
Mhm.
but I do still have issues with some of that with being rerouted and all that good stuff. But yes, with my posts, I just try to make sure I have everything the way I should, I guess. But when I was with Jordan on my meeting,
So
I
Jordan,
learned,
Jordan, I'm going to
sorry,
interrupt you. Just
yep,
for anybody that doesn't know, Jordan Page is our social media we'll just call
guru.
it guru, yes, for LEMD. And anybody can book a call with her. So if you need her Calendly link and you want to do that, definitely let me know. I think a few of you have already done that, but I did want Shannon to touch on what Jordan had told her, um, because if any of her golden nuggets will help us, then that would be great.
So when I was with her, I told her that it seems like I get more views. I don't know if this is a thing or if it's in my crazy mind, but I get more views if I have a reel instead of a story. I don't know if that's legit. I don't know if that's just me, but
Yeah.
so she showed me how to do, which I'm not tech savvy by any means. I just play around until I figure it out, basically. And still, I don't know a whole lot. But like she told me that Instagram would be my better best friend than Facebook because Facebook world is basically my friend's family. Obviously, they always see the same thing
Yeah.
and either they want to be on this kind of journey with me or they don't. So with that being said, to go into Instagram and make a reel I believe it goes to my story as well.
Correct. Yep.
So, but
Yep.
I get the whole world wide web instead of just my people on
Yeah.
my Facebook, which
hmm
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I literally had absolutely no idea that was a thing. I had no idea how to make a real one. I mean, I might have made one accidentally at one point, but. And then she also told me that I don't know what an avatar is. I have one. I created one because that was my homework.
Yeah.
I still don't totally know what it's for, but like ChatGPT and the avatar, she basically told me would be my best friends, which I use GBT,
Yep.
GBT,
Yeah.
GPT, I don't
GPT.
know.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever the initials are. I use that constantly to try to make my words sound
Yes.
better, I guess.
hmm
And for obviously answers as well, because you told me that, you
Yes.
know,
Mhm.
it's like my doctor,
Yeah.
kind of, sort of.
To touch
So
on
I
that,
use all
guys.
that, yes.
Yeah, she's talking about like if somebody asks you a question about GLP-1s, I want you guys to know when you reach out to me and ask me these questions, I typically just put it right in my chat GPT, and then whatever my chat GPT spits out on me is what I give to you guys. So, if you guys have chat GPT, you can literally even take a screenshot of your customer's question and just drop it right in there, and chat GPT will give you the answer to those questions.
With also that, I mean, I do the TikTok thing ish. I don't really think that really does much. I don't know about you, but
Mhm. Yeah,
it's okay. But even in there, it's easier sometimes for me to make like a reel
yes.
technically
Mhm.
because there's maybe more options in there. I'm not really sure why it's easier, but
And
sometimes it's easier.
it'll give you music to your stuff.
Yeah.
So like if you put your stuff in there, it does really help to curate your reels a lot easier for you.
Yes.
And so if you're not good at like creating, TikTok is a great place just because it kind of just helps you to build it
Yes.
without you having to do a lot of work.
And also, she wanted me to do because I didn't have. I don't know if you guys can see, but I didn't have any like bio on my Instagram.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have any of that. I think I did on my Facebook a little bit, but nothing explaining my
Who you are and what you do.
journey or anything like that. So I did do that. If it attracted anybody, I have no idea, but I did do that. So that was one of the big things she told me to make sure I have that. And then my link to have that in there, which I didn't. I don't really have my link anywhere, so I put it everywhere now.
Yes.
So, so
Yep, for sure.
it's easier. And then I'm just trying to think of some of the other things that she showed me here.
And how
But
often
like with
do you
YouTube,
post, Shannon? How often do you
I
post?
try to definitely do a one a day.
Yep.
Like this morning, I've been up since 4:30, so I did a lot this morning because I've created all kinds of little jazzy things in my bedroom this morning. I guess if you want to say, I was trying to go back to sleep, but didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yes, I try to definitely at least once a day.
hmm
If I see something striking, obviously I try to get it on there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to overkill either. Sometimes I feel like I do
Well, I think we all
too
feel
much.
like that, and I'll touch on that too, is that oftentimes like we feel like we are like probably really repetitive in our stories, like not just stories, but like on social media in general. And I will tell you guys, people that are growing the most in this business, it is on social media. So some people will say to me, well, Heather, you're so fortunate because you have a salon and you have people coming in and out. And yes, you guys, it's a great place to be able to show this. But I will tell you that almost all of my customers, like Shannon said, a few do trickle in from the salon. I think it's more so though because my clients see what I've posted on social media. And then when they come in, they talk to me personally about it. But mostly, I do believe that my business has grown from social media. And I like to use social media. Not everybody does. Some people like to build belly to belly, and that's fine if you're that person. But from a business perspective, you guys, if I can put out a post and reach 3 to 10,000 people, I have a way bigger outreach than if I'm just talking to a handful of people a day. And so, because I personally want to grow this into a very large business and a very large stream of income, and I have a passion for helping people, I would rather use social media just because like the outreach is much bigger. So the people that are really, really growing this business have very high personal volume and things like that. They are using their social media to grow their business is probably their primary form of growing.
Also, to touch on that, also when you do a post or whatever, make sure you add your hashtags.
Hmm.
Because obviously you connect with more people
Yeah.
that way. I mean, I don't do it every time just because, like I said, I feel like I'm overkilling sometimes. And nobody, I mean, I didn't know that the hashtag thing was a thing even until recently. So,
Yeah, and the thing of it is you guys, like, we feel annoying and repetitive, but what I'm going to tell you about this, for one, if people don't like it, they can just scroll on, unfollow you. I know that might hurt some feelings, but like, you can't care about that.
yeah.
But number two is that not every single person is on social media every single day, like myself. It doesn't even mean that people think I live on social media because of how much I post. I actually don't. I post and I am gone. I work every single day, just about. I mean, I'm supposed to work part time at the salon, but this summer it's been almost daily. I have 4 children. I'm constantly running kids here and there. So I don't have time to be on social media. I post usually in the morning or in between a client. And then I usually don't, I'm in my messenger all day because I'm always checking messages if you guys need me, if I can, answer things in our team chat, things like that. But then when it comes to like follow up on my notifications, then at nighttime, sometimes I'll have a little window after work where I'll check my notifications and respond to people if they're asking for info. But otherwise, it's not till normally 8, 9 o'clock at night. And so, but the point is that not everyone else is on social media every single day. So you feel annoying and repetitive, but ultimately, like, not everybody is seeing what you're posting every single day. And then also on social media, even though you're posting every single day, sometimes the algorithm only shows your post to a certain amount of people. So the other key important thing to this is if you are posting, you need to make sure that at some point in the day you are also interacting with other people. And once Shannon is finished up with all of her things, I will go through all of my tips and tricks to help you with the algorithm so that your posts get further along. Because otherwise, if you're not interacting with other people, the same like 100 people, especially on Facebook, are the only ones seeing your social media. So that's why interaction is also super important on it too.
And also, Jordan said something about letting your story expire
Yes.
also to
And I
reset
suck
that
at
algorithm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suck at that, but I would say, not to toot my own horn, but my story views are usually pretty good. But it does help if you kind of reset it. And then your next post, like say you have like a transformation post or something like that, then it's like, then that really ramps up the views again. So,
Yeah.
Rob, did you have a question? I know you had unmuted or something to add. Oh, there, I see you in the chat. Stories and reels last 24 hours. Posts are on all the time. So stories are 24 hours. They expire after 24 hours, and reels are forever also. So those,
Okay, so it's better to do a reel because then you see it all the time. That doesn't go away, but stories do. Okay.
yeah. And think about how many people just sit and scroll reels. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, people
Yep.
are addicted to reels. So like if you can share reels, that I feel like that is, I wouldn't necessarily say that reels get me a ton of sales per se, but it does increase my following. And so even on Facebook, so like to go off of what Shannon said, I keep my this is
I don't know if you guys.
contradictory to what Jordan says, but again, you guys, this is why one shoe, like one size doesn't fit everybody, right? So Facebook is my cash cow. Like I have been on Instagram for years. I get some customers from there, but not a ton. I feel like it's getting better recently. But like it's taken me so many years to really build it up. But and for some people they'll have a reel on, and especially on Instagram and stuff, reels are like everything. Like that is what's going to make you go viral. That's what's going to make a ton of people find you. But like on Facebook, reels for me gain a lot of followers, and I keep my feed public. And I also have my Facebook set to professional mode so that I'm reaching way more people. And then plus because I'm on professional mode, Facebook actually recommends me to other people. And so they will say, this is a creator you might be interested in following. So every single day,
How do you do that?
it's in the settings. And in the settings, you will go to your Facebook settings and then to be honest, I don't know exactly where it is. It's one of those
Okay.
things you'll probably just have to play around with
Mhm.
it. But
Okay.
it'll say like go from like private mode or something to professional mode. But when you have it on professional mode, you're going to get all the analytics. You'll be able to see how many people are viewing your stories, your reels, your posts. And then that way you can kind of see what people like. And then when that post does really well, then you can just kind of recreate something like that. But then because of that, I have a handful of people that follow me every single day, like every day but I feel like that's coming from reels because when I do a reel, people are scrolling through those reels. They like what I posted about. And so then they end up just, following me on Facebook. And Facebook is where I convert the most of my customers. Kathy, go ahead.
So on Instagram, do you guys like when people start to follow you, do you follow them back?
If I like their page, I do. If I don't like their page and I think they're weird, then no, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No.
it doesn't really matter then.
Yeah, no.
No.
Okay.
You don't have to follow them back at all. And on Facebook, I never follow any of the people that follow me back. Never. Unless they're like from our local area, because I get a lot of people from our local area that will start following me. And I know it's because I'm talking about GLP-1 and they're seeing my stuff. And again, they're seeing it, you guys, because I'm public. When you're public, Facebook will push your stuff out to other people in your community. And so I get a lot of these random women that are in their 40s and 50s that will start following me. And it's because I know they're watching me. So those ones I will send a friend request to because then to go back to the whole interacting thing, you guys, is then I try to then go to their page and I interact with their page. Another thing that I do every day on social media, some days I miss, but if I miss, then I just go back and do belated, is I send birthday messages every single day. Now, I don't just write on their wall. I actually send them a personal message into their messenger. And the reason for that is because, for one, now I have taken a conversation into the inbox. So if they've been watching me, sometimes they'll respond and they'll say thank you so much for the birthday message, and I'll say, and then I'll respond again, you guys, and I'll say yes, absolutely, I hope you have the best day. And then sometimes then they'll come back one more time and they'll say, you know what? I've actually been meaning to reach out to you. I'm really busy today with like birthday stuff, but like tomorrow or the next day I'm going to reach back out to you because I'm really interested in what you've been doing. So sometimes that will pique that conversation just because I sent them a birthday message, and some people are just too afraid to reach out to you. But when you send them this warm greeting, this warm birthday message, now they're like, okay, she's very approachable. She's in my mail or in my inbox and she's so kind. And so now they feel safe and comfortable to be able to say something back to you. Now, if they don't ever say anything back to you, that's okay. But what happens because you message them, Facebook recognizes that and they say, oh, they're friends, they're communicating in Messenger. So now I really should show, you know, Crystal more of Heather's posts. So then, now my posting is going to show up on her news feed. Because if you're not interacting with people for a long time, nobody is even seeing your posts. So basically, you're posting and ghosting, and your posts aren't doing anything for you because nobody is even seeing them, because Facebook is going to show your statuses to the people that you interact with the most. But if you're always just interacting with LEMD people and your friends and your family, then it's never going to reach those other people that you don't talk to as often. So that's why I like to do birthday messages, because it keeps things more relevant. Also, when you go to your Facebook, and you click this, oh gosh, I have this on blur because I'm in my bedroom. But okay, so down in the bottom right-hand corner, it says menu with your profile picture. When you click on that and you scroll down, you'll have to click see more, and then you'll see it says feeds. And then at the very top of feeds, when you click it, it'll say all favorites, friends, groups, pages. So I'll click friends. This will only give you your friends' statuses with no ads, like no anything, but it's the most recent posts. And this is everybody. So you're going to probably find when you go there, like right now, I just see this lady, Donna. I haven't seen a post from her for a year. But again, because it's the people in your friends list that have most recently posted, but the algorithm on this feed is different than your main feed. So this is another way that you can take, 5, 10, 15 minutes a day, whatever you have, and go through and interact with these people. But again, be authentic. Don't just like drop an emoji, or like if it's not relevant to you and you don't have anything to say, like obviously keep scrolling. But if there's something that you can comment on about it, like, oh my gosh, when did you get that new dog? It's so cute. Like, whatever, like something like that. Because now that is going to pop that person into your algorithm because you've interacted with them. So, like, you guys, Facebook and social media, they want you to be social. So if you're not interacting on other people's posts, then they're not going to show your post as much. The more interactive you are, the more your statuses are going to get pushed out further and further and further. And I see this even with my reels on Facebook. My reels were always like 900 views, 700, 800, 900 in there. Now they're getting to over 2,000. The more you show up, the more you interact, the more they will push it out. So now, because I've been doing reels consistently, and by consistently, almost every single day, you guys, it's hard. And some days I don't really want to make a reel, but it's just like when you do it every single day, now Facebook says, I got a badge this week that says I'm a consistent reel creator. And then they told me, I'm going to start pushing your reels out even more because of how much you're producing. So now I am reaching more people, but then I've been noticing this week, like I've had so many more people following me. Well, that's just an opportunity that I'm not friends with them, but they can see all of my posts. So that's why it's also important on your post to put calls to action on the bottom. And just like Shannon, I mix it up. Like sometimes I put hashtags, sometimes I don't. Because again, we want to like not look like we're just like this broken record, but like switching things up. And so I'll put a call to action on the bottom that says like, if you're interested in learning more, drop a heart. Because this is going to encourage my people that are just followers, that aren't really my friends, that don't know me super well. It makes it more easier for them to just drop a heart, because it feels a little less pressure, like than to message me directly. So by doing that, that's going to encourage the people that don't know you super well to be able to interact with you. And on Instagram, that's super important. Um, so I could like squirrel out on all of this, but so far, is all of this making sense? Does anybody have any questions so far? Everyone's good? Okay.
Do you know, like when you make your, like with the doctor, Jason,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you sometimes post little clips of him. Like I follow him on Instagram, and obviously he says all kinds of good stuff.
yeah.
But I don't want to like put him in my story with a 3-minute video. Like,
See,
how do
and
you just,
I do. I put all of that. And so you guys, this
okay.
is another thing. It's really good to switch up your content. So like I'll post and Shannon's really good at this too and so is Tanya. Um like so one day maybe we'll do our transformation post. Now again, to the ones that don't necessarily have like a weight loss cuz not everybody is an LEMD because of weight loss. You can show other people's transformations or you can be an educator of the products. Like you can talk about them, you can educate, you can entertain. There's so many different ways that you can still do this. But what I like to do is so to get more ideas, you guys, what I would suggest for you to do to post up on social media, because mostly this is a social media training, because this is how most of us are growing is through social media. So what I would do is I would go to Instagram and I would start like putting up in the search bar like GLP-1s. There's some doctors that I would follow, like Dr. Jason Pensick. I have multiple other ones. I can give a list of them later, but you'll see these posts coming up. And the more that you do it, then Instagram really is smart and they know your algorithm and they know what you like. But then you'll see other creators posting things and then you can kind of get ideas from them. But what I do is when I find somebody I like, so and then like Shannon, like so I just literally popped on social and right now she's mixing up her shake. So like on this post, she's not even necessarily talking about her transformation. She's now like educating on how to support your GLP-1 journey by using our GLP-1 support. That's a great post because you know what? Not everybody is going to order through us because a lot of people are getting this through their doctor. But their doctor isn't giving them a protein shake that they should be taking. They're not even educating them, you guys. Like, seriously, you have no idea how many people message me on the daily that say, I just started Ozempic, but my doctor hasn't told me what I'm supposed to do. They don't know how they're supposed to be eating. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing. The doctor gives them this stuff, you guys, and they're gone. There's no support. So always support those people and love on them because you know what? Insurance is going to stop covering them in 6 months to a year. And they're going to need somebody to come to. And it's going to be you if you were supportive with them. So I always support them. I always help them. And so like Shannon, she'll post stuff like that. She'll post things about how and I do this too, like how it feels to all of a sudden be able to go shopping. Like imagine somebody who has been overweight and how you feel when you go shopping. Like nothing fits, you don't want to try on anything. You feel like even if it is a cute outfit, you still feel like you look like hell in it. Well, now to be able to go shopping and pick out whatever you want and you can wear whatever you want, and now you can even wear the cutest outfits that maybe you couldn't before, that's life changing, especially for, well, I wouldn't even say just a woman, for men too, because my husband, since he's lost 40 pounds, he is so much happier in all of his clothes. And so this is a big deal to people and that is something that really grabs that emotion and people can really feel that. So it's important to post transformations, how you feel post weight, also sharing how you felt when you were overweight, or if your story is you were in pain and now you're using BPC 157 and what it feels like now to go golfing and not have that knee pain anymore, or whatever that looks like for you. I mean, this can relate to anybody, whatever your story is. So it's important to share all that. I share stuff from doctors, like Shannon said, because again, that's validating people. Now, I'm not just the one saying this. I am giving you this information from a trusted source. When people hear the word doctor, I mean, there's accreditation with that, right? And so I am giving accredited advice. So what I'm going to show you how I do this only applies if you have an iPhone. If you don't have an
Yeah.
iPhone, I'm sorry, I don't know how to help you, but I'm still going to share how I do this, and it might be similar.
Oops.
It might be similar on your phone, but at least you can maybe get the gist of how this works. Okay, let's see. And there's Shannon. Okay, so I am gonna, let's see if I can. There's Colleen. She's on our team. I hope I look like her when I'm 56. I think she's 56, but look at those abs. She's amazing. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is the doctor that I recorded from yesterday. He's really brash, very, very brash. So it just depends on like what kind of like things you want. Like, okay, let's see. Oh, is it not gonna play on here, the volume?
Looks like you got it muted.
Why isn't the volume
Well,
playing?
maybe not.
Okay, well, this might not work if I can't get the volume, but at the same token, I can still like show you. Okay, so screw it. I'm just gonna record something and then whatever, at least you'll know how to do it. I don't know why it's not playing on here.
You're not enlightened.
There it
You're
is.
soft. Your idea of progress is making the world so padded. The dump.
I'm not going to use him. We're going to just go to Dr. Jason Pensick. He has awesome.
How do I dose semaglutide? How often should we be injecting a GLP-1?
Okay.
The GLP-1,
So, oops.
peptide and retatrutide.
So I'm going to go up to my corner and, oops. You guys, no one said I'm a professional at this. I just try my best. Let's see. Okay, so down here in the corner right here is the record button. Now, I did not know this. You guys hold this. Before I would record things, but the volume would never show up. When you hold that button, then you can see microphone on, microphone off. I literally just figured this out finally yesterday. It was driving me nuts. I could not figure it out. So now I will hit the record button, scroll up.
And retatrutide were all meant. How often should we be injecting a GLP-1? The GLP-1s, such as semaglutide, tirzepatide, and retatrutide, were all meant to be injected once a week. For everyone out there that's injecting once every other week, my recommendation is always going to be move to once a week and cut the dose in half so you're doing the same amount. It is not advantageous to do injections every other week. It's actually more advantageous to do more frequent injections. The microdosing that we talk about is usually broken up into more frequent injections. Instead of injecting once a week, breaking the dose up and maybe injecting 2 times a week or even possibly 3 times a week could be advantageous as it holds blood levels very stable. The more frequent the injections, the better stability of the GLP-1 in your system. It is not required to do injections more than once a week. But I do tell people if you're having some adverse effects, maybe extra nausea, maybe you're more fatigued or have more heartburn, you can just do more frequent injections and bring those symptoms down. If you're looking for a way to improve utilizing your semaglutide, tirzepatide, or retatrutide, consider injecting more frequently. How we injecting a GLP-1? The GLP-1s, such as semaglutide, tirzepatide, and retatrutide.
And now you literally have this saved right to your phone. And so then if you want, you can go into your phone, you can crop it a little bit to take like the top out. And so then I can now post this on Facebook as a reel for education. And then, but I always just make sure that I give the credit where the credit is due. Like this is from Jason Pensick, blah, 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 whatever. And so this is a way like on Instagram, you can share that from your Instagram to your stories. And I personally have my stories connected from Facebook or from Instagram to Facebook so that whatever I put in my Instagram story, it automatically goes to my Facebook story. And this is great to do, but like still in your, even if you share a reel from your Instagram, like if it's like more than a certain amount of time, it's still not going to play the whole entire thing. But if you have it recorded, you can post like 60 seconds of it, and then then you can put the last 30 seconds of it in the next slide, so that you can still get the whole entire message across. So that's how I do that, and that's how you can do that. And so this applies to, like, you guys, we have all of these amazing educational videos every single week from LEMD. So you can go to YouTube channel on LEMD. It's LEMD on YouTube, and you can go through and listen to these educational series, and you can take like 1 minute clips from there and do that too. And you can share that as education. You can share it as a reel. You can share it just right on your Facebook post. You can share it like on Instagram, whatever, because this is where you're going to be able to give people education as well as just like showing a transformation. And again, if GLP-1 isn't what you are heavy on promoting, well then great. Like there's ones on BPC, there's ones on Tessa Moreland, like whatever your story is. So what I wanted to go through, I mean, there is so much we could talk about this forever, but I just do want to touch on these core points. So the biggest thing about growing your business on social media is consistency. And it's not just about the intensity of it, you guys. It's not about one viral post. Everybody wants to go viral, right? But at the same token, like just because you go viral, that doesn't equal customers. Like it literally doesn't. You might have a post blow up, but that doesn't mean it's going to bring you 100 customers. It might, but a lot of times it's not going to. If anything, it sometimes just brings you trolls. All the internet trolls that are a-holes to you on your status. Trust me, I had a TikTok go viral last week. I mean, viral for me, I mean, it was like 15, 16,000. And I had all these trolls on there telling me that I apparently wasn't doing the correct injection site, So it's like, just because it goes viral, it doesn't mean that people are going to be nice. So just remember that. What it is more is you want to show up consistent for the people that are true and loyal to you and that trust you, because that consistency is what is going to get people to trust you, even if it's messy. Shannon talks about how, it takes her an hour to do a post. You know what, you guys, when I started Thrive 9.5 years ago, it did for me too. But I finally got to the point where, number one, I don't have time for an hour post. Number two, I'm just like, I don't care, because the posts that I would try so hard on, I would get like crickets. And then the posts that I just like threw up, messy, whatever, like just it was what was on my heart and I just threw it out there. Those were the posts that like got me a lot of interaction. Again, people want authenticity and they want realness. They don't want perfection. People are sick of perfection because perfection feels fake. It feels like it's not real. It feels curated. It feels like it's not even you, especially if your audience knows who you are normally. They know that's not how you are. So stop trying to be somebody you're not, right? Lead with your story. Again, we touched on this. Like, that's why I had Shannon share her story. She shares her story on repeat all the time, you guys. I know it feels repetitive, but it's supposed to, because it's your story. Your story isn't changing every other day. Of course, you're going to sound the same day after day after day because it's your story. And we want to lead with our story, not with sales. Stories are what sell, because people can feel your emotion, and then they can really feel like, me too. Like, oh my gosh, that's me too. And so I'd really encourage you guys, when you're writing your story, kind of like, I don't know if this is what Jordan was talking about, but like, what's your avatar of like who you're talking to? And who that person is the person that you were before you started this. And you know what, guys? Some people lead with the opportunity. So if it's the opportunity that you're looking for, then lead with that. Like, I've been in business and I've been in sales for X amount of time, and I've never seen a business like this where telehealth meets um, network marketing, blah, blah, blah. Like, that can be your story too. Some people come into this just to build a business. Like, that's not me personally. I am more of an emotional person, and more, I like to just share from my heart, and I don't want ever people to think like that I'm doing this just for money. But some people are very comfortable with that and they are very honest with it, but then they're going to attract the people that are looking for that same exact thing. So there is no wrong way. It's what is best for you, but people are going to be able to sniff you out. They're going to know if you're for real or if you're BSing, right? Like people aren't stupid, they know. So share your why, share your struggles, your transformations. If your customers are open to it, share their stories. You guys will see me. I never ever post anybody's name, but I will like go to heart something in my messenger so that their name and everything is not showing. And I take a screenshot of that and I will share those testimonies in my story because, again, people want to hear from other people besides just you. And they want to know that other people are having results, not just you. So when you're sharing your story, don't make a post, or like when you're making a post, I guess I should say, don't make a post that like seems like you're trying to talk to everybody on social media. We've all been guilty about that. Like you want to like you're looking to make a sale and so you think you're like talking to everybody and you're like you want to reach everyone. No, you need to post the status like you're talking to one person, because every time that comes across someone's feed, they're the only person reading it. So you want it to feel like you're talking directly to them. Like, so I'm speaking directly to the woman who has been working out. She busts her butt off. She's maybe walked through the fire and had some really hard trials in her life, but she's health conscious and she cares about her health and what she looks like, but she's super frustrated and she's exhausted, but she kind of has a little shame, but she needs somebody to tell her it's okay. That's the person that I speak to because that is me. That was me. And so I speak to my old self because that's where all the people in my age frame, they're struggling with midlife. They're struggling with menopause. They're struggling with this 30, 40 pounds of weight that they've gained. So I'm speaking directly to them because when they read their status or read my status, they can imagine themselves in my story. They're like, that's me. And that's what you want. You want people to be like, oh my gosh, that's me. Because when they can feel like that's me, now they feel like they know you have the solution for them because that's exactly what they're struggling with. Um, and then serve people, not just sell to them, right? So when people do reach out to you, I never give them my link immediately because you just seem slimy and you seem like you're just looking for a sale. I talk to them first. I serve them. I ask them what are their struggles. I remind them of my story and what my struggles have been. And so then that while I'm talking to them personally, then they can open up and say, yes, everything that you just said is exactly everything that I'm struggling with. Educate, inspire, support before you ever ask for a sale. And then once you get them to that point to where they're like, yes, this is everything that I've been dealing with, then you can say, would you like me to send you the link to my trusted provider? You can take a look around and then you can just let me know if you have any questions. Like, notice I'm not saying, like, this is how you order, this is da da da. I'm just like, here's my website, take a look around. It feels like a very no pressure approach. Usually they're going to go in and they're just going to order, or they're going to go in and they're going to start their order process and then ask you, like any questions that they might have. And then just play the long game, you guys. I think so often we just really feel like because we put out a post or we've been sharing for a month, like people should come running. You have to ask yourself a couple of questions. First is, have you been consistent every single day? And even if you're not going to post every day, I'm not saying that, like, even if you decide it's 3 times a week, but still, have you been consistently sharing? Because people have lost trust over the years with just sales are constantly in our face and like especially on social media, and so people kind of got tired of that. So we need to build that trust, and they need to know that we're going to be here for the long haul, because you all know somebody on social media that was with AvocAre, and then 2 months later they left AvocAre, and now they're with Modere, and then they left Modere, and now they're doing Thrive, and like so many people have lost trust in this industry. So sorry, my cat's trying to get out. Get out of here. Oh, she's a big whiner. So people have lost trust in the industry, and so we really just need to be consistent, because a lot of people are just watching you and making sure that you're going to be there for them, because nobody wants to start a journey like this with this big of an investment and then feel like you're going to go ghost on them and you're not going to be there with them to be there for the long haul. So, and then also you guys, it's a big financial investment, and there's so much like different viewpoints on this, right? Like there's, you see some negativity about GLP-1s and how like, oh my gosh, what are the long-term effects? And you're going to get pancreatic or pancreatitis and you're going to die and blah, blah, blah. And then on the next breath, Serena Williams is posting her GLP-1 journey yesterday, and everybody's talking about, Serena Williams opened up about using a GLP-1, and then, so then you have the positivity from it. So it's like there's both sides of the fence, and people are nervous about that. And so they need to really make that educated decision for themselves if they should jump in or not. So again, it's the long haul. And then also remembering, like, you guys are doing so amazing. Like, it's summertime, you guys. Like, if you've ever been in sales, sales is really slow in the summer, especially like up north, like where we are, Wisconsin, Minnesota, things like that, because we get a very short summer. And so people here, especially, like they are spending their money on camping and vacations and swimming and cabins and all of this stuff. And we get a lot of energy from the natural sunlight in Wisconsin this time of the year. And so people are just giving her during the summer. It's when the days get shorter here and the winter starts to creep in, and when people are finally going to be like, oh my gosh, like everything's out of control and now I need to get started again. So the fact that we've done this well during the summer, you guys should all be patting yourselves on the back, because normally summer is really, really slow. So just think September, October, things are going to ramp up even more. So I said what we are doing right now is literally planting seeds for this fall. You have to remember that everything that's happening right now is just planting a seed to harvest for later. We don't always harvest off of that first post. It's multiple posts, multiple months, and then it harvests. So you have to remember that as well. Just some quick social media tips that will like help you to move the needle is, like I said, being relatable. When people can relate with you and you're real and you're raw, they're going to trust you more because you're super honest. And then mix up your post. I kind of already talked about that with Shannon. Some education, some storytelling, lifestyle. Like, don't forget, you guys, to be a human. Like, if you're golfing, if you're doing something fun, like, show that too, so that we don't just look like we're like LEMD, like broadcasters, and that's all we are, because we're still moms, dads, in relationships. We have interests, we have hobbies. Like, so make sure you're sharing that stuff as well. Um, and then engagement, you guys, that's huge too. That's also going to increase your social media reach, even in your stories. Like if you put in your stories like a poll or a button to tap, or something like that, or even in your stories, you can say, ask me a question. That's going to also help your engagement. Even on like your social media, like for example, like this fall, especially, I don't know if it's all around everywhere, but like in Wisconsin, it's like, apples or pumpkins, like things like that. Or are you team summer or team fall? Just like things like that. Like, what would you rather do? Or if like you're going out for an event, which outfit should I wear? This one or this one? You guys, like, your transformation is still going to show when you're showing off these outfits, but without even saying it. right? Like people that have known you, they're going to see you in this outfit and they're going to be like, dang, they look good. But you didn't say a word. You're just asking, which outfit should I wear? And people love to give their opinion. Everybody wants to give their opinion. Or like if you're looking for recommendations, hey, I'm going to be in this area. Um, what are some good restaurants? You guys, that builds huge engagement on social media. And again, it pushes the algorithm to push your contact or your content out. And then I want to end with this. We're going to probably go a few minutes over. But a lot of you have also asked me how to get partners. I forgot to touch on that, so I'm going to quick touch on that before I let you guys go. Is if you want to attract partners to this business, you have to talk about like team growth. You have to talk about like LEMD. You have to talk about like the business. Like how we get paid 20 to 40%. You have to like I will if you guys ever watch my story, you'll see like how I like show graphs of like the growth. If you guys don't have that to show yet, then you can like take mine and say like this is my leader that I just joined and our team is growing so fast. Again, it's still showing the growth of the business. You might not be there yet, but it's still showing as a team collectively how fast we're growing. If you want people to join the business, you have to show the community, the wins, and that's like sharing. If you get a new customer, you can just take a screenshot of your LEMD email. Obviously make sure that their name is never shown because of HIPAA, and then you're gonna put that in your story and then just share how you got another customer, another person that joined you, recognition behind the scenes. So for example, you guys can go ahead just like I'm gonna do right now. Smile, everyone. And I take a picture of our Zoom and I talk about how we had a team training this morning and how amazing this community is and how you're not in this business alone and how, we have leaders and a team that are going to teach you and show you how to grow. When you talk about those types of things, then people know that they can do this business. And then, like, for example, I'm just going to pick on Shannon, like Shannon's never done this business. So she could put something in her story like, I've never done this kind of business ever in my life. But I have a whole team that stands behind me. And I shared on this team Zoom today how I've gotten over $6,000 in sales because I'm growing. And I never thought I would be that person sharing on a Zoom or something like that. But again, you're showing how we have community and that people don't have to figure out how to do this alone. And that's huge because somebody could be scared to join the business, but they're actually looking for another stream of income, but they're too afraid. But if you're telling them things like you're not in this alone, then that's going to encourage them to to join because they don't have to figure it out. Shannon was scared. She came to my house to sign up. Shannon and I have known of each other, but it's not like we were friends. But I was like, girl, it's fine. Come to my house. You're not in this alone. I'm going to help you. I will help you sign up. I will help you place your order. I helped her get her Canva. And then I was like, I'm here to help you the whole way. Like, if you have questions, just reach out. And just to like tell her, she's like, well, I'm probably going to bug you because I really don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, no, it's really okay. You can bug me as much as you need to. And again, that's what encourages someone who has never done this kind of business before. I just want to quick check through my notes to make sure I didn't leave anything out. Again, shifting the mindset, like don't go hunting for the perfect business partner. It's just sharing openly. Rob had a really, really great thing that he did. He was in this, like, it's like a spa business boutique type thing with one of his friends. And she has an injector come in that does B12 shots. And so Rob asked the $1 million question. He said, do you offer any other peptides here? And she said, no, but I wish I did. And he said, oh, okay, well, great. I have the perfect opportunity for you. I'm partnered with LAMD and we offer all these peptides. And then guess what Rob did? Rob reached out to me. He got me on a phone call because I'm a salon owner and I can relate with this woman. And then I did all the talking and I answered all of her questions and we did this together. Again, that's how we build community and that's how you bring new partners in, is because we have a whole team and a whole collective and community to help each other out. And so like looking for partners also is like looking in your circle. Like I'm a stylist, so for me it's stylists, salon owners, also like health conscious friends, moms who want more energy or income. You guys, these are all the people, just like you talk to the person that's your avatar. If this business has helped you in a certain way, like talk to the avatar who maybe has a ton of debt, or the person that is looking for a community. A lot of people are looking for community, you guys. And so that's another thing that people really are needing and wanting. And so planting that curiosity, just not trying to convince people. You just share the curiosity with people, and that's what is going to help. And then, like, people that are constantly engaging on your social media or have a great social media, or they're engaging on all of your LEMD posts and things like that, those are people that you could reach out to and be like, hey, have you ever thought about, wanting to learn more about what I'm doing? I think you would be really great at this, or your social media is really amazing. So I think that this would be a great opportunity for you. Just keep it light and curiosity driven and just like no pressure. And then again, just sharing behind the scenes. Like when we are on a Zoom and Honey's talking, you guys, I am always on my story on Instagram and I'm recording what she's saying so that people can see and hear her mission. And that's also what I had a Optivia coach from Instagram message me because I was sharing Honey and her story. And she's like, your community seems amazing. And I love your CEO's mission. So again, you guys, those types of things are what is going to attract partners to your business. And then always just sharing from your heart is the biggest thing, is being authentic, honest, and that's how you're gonna continue to grow your business. And I know it might feel like I just like fire hosed you with so much information, but just remember to just take a couple of these things that you learned today or that you're encouraged by or inspired by, and just try to implement this, because you guys, 1% better every single day is what compounds over 30 days. It's not taking today and saying like, okay, I got to change everything. I suck at this. Oh my gosh, like I have to do 20 different things different. No, take one thing and focus on it. If Facebook is your jam, then do Facebook. If Instagram's your jam, then focus on Instagram. But just take a couple of the things that we talked about today and improve on that this week. And this is going to be, yes, Kathy, The Slight Edge. I'm reading The Slight Edge right now. It's such a good book. I love that you said that. So just that slight edge is just being 1% better every single day. And what it does is that builds momentum, and it's that consistency that compounds. And it's not what you did today that's better, the 1%. It doesn't seem like much, but by 30 days, now that's compounded and that's built up into a way bigger thing. So just try to be a little bit better each day, each week. And by the end of this month, you're going to be that much better than you were last month. And then on top of it, that's all the seeds that you planted this month that are going to harvest in September and October. So it's everything you do today that is going to build the next month or two. So just remember that. Does anybody have any questions before we go, or anything else that you want me to elaborate on or anything like that? I really appreciate your guys' time and showing up and being here. And I will get this recording out for you guys. So if you want to go back in and just grab any of these tips, if you need anything. And I do have notes. I was trying to get a Canva slide out, but I will definitely, I will finish up that Canva. I didn't get it done on time, to be completely transparent. But I will put those Canva slides in for you guys too, so that you can go back and reference them as well. So, but as always, if you guys need anything, anything, I'm always just a message away, so don't hesitate to reach out. So thanks, guys. Have a beautiful Saturday. Talk to you
Bye.
later.